Hello, guys, gals, people of undetermined genders. It's me, Jersh. Well, Jershwa, to be specific, on another hopefully amazing episode of Too Far Talk. Of course, I have my partner in crime right next to me, committing crimes as we speak.
Dom Delanooch.
There he is. He took a brief respite from his crime committing just to tell you who he is.
Yay.
So now you have like an actual idea of who you could report to the police on. It would be Dom Delanooch. And I'm thinking, Dom, we got to talk a lot those last two episodes. Like, no shit, Jersh. It's fucking a podcast. This is what we do. We talk a lot. But I'm thinking, you know what? Movies, shows. I like the number 4. That's a pretty strong number. Some people might like 69. Me personally, not a fan. I'm very short. It's very hard to find that right combination. All right. Sometimes the pieces just don't fit. So, Dom, how should we do this? You want to do some fucking rock, paper, scissors right now?
First, I want to agree with you. 4 is a great number. It's a very even number. It's 2 and 2. A lot of times people say that you put 2 and 2 together, you get potato, but you don't. You get 4. So, yeah, we're going to rock, paper, scissors, I guess.
Yeah.
See who talks first and figure out who is going to talk about what they like the most. You want to just go?
We're gonna fucking do rock, paper, scissors. All right, you son of a bitch. Hold on. Once, twice, shoot. You want to do that again? I fucked that up. I somehow fucked up rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
All right.
I was a little confused.
All right. Once, twice, shoot. Once, twice, shoot. Once, twice, shoot. All right, you're going first.
Woo.
God damn.
All right, so these are not going to be in any particular order. They're going to be, it's not like what we say first is the best one or last is the best one. We're just talking in general about our favorite movies or TV shows.
For me, it would be like if these shits were on, like if we still were old people and we had cable TV and we saw one of these things being on, we would automatically switch over to it and watch it. So, again.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect way to explain it.
There you go.
And that's because these movies and shows that we picked are movies and shows about what makes us us and kind of, like not really makes us who we are, but a big influence to our personality, our, character traits, our humor, etc., etc. So yeah, my very first one, I guess, would be That 70s Show. People that know me know that I love That 70s Show, and I'll watch it all the time. But we'll jump into that. Do you like 70s Show?
I've seen it. I mean, the show isn't bad. I liked it when I was younger. As I got older, I still see the merits behind a lot of the comedy, a lot of the writing, the actors that they chose to play those roles and everything. I thought they did really good on the casting. As far as a show that was made, was that late 90s?
Oh, yeah, like 99.
99 when it started?
Yeah.
And it went on for like 30 years?
Until 2006, and they just brought a reboot back.
Cool.
Like last year. It's okay.
We don't have enough of those reboots. We need more of those. I've been telling people that for years.
Of course. You always got to continue the story. You got to finish the story.
I don't want people to guess and fucking have discourse and fucking speak to each other. No, we're just gonna show them.
Hell yeah.
But
make them want what we told them that they want.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? This is exactly what you wanted. I read your fan fiction. This is what you wanted. Nah.
I wanted Luke to be stronger.
Nah.
Anyways, 70 Show.
70 Show.
Go ahead with it. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No. I mean, what more can I say about That 70s Show?
Yeah, it's a pretty basic show.
It is. It follows a lot of those tropes that a lot of shows in the 90s kind of had. But at the same time, there was just something wholly unique about the setting. Which, hey, guess what? In case you didn't know from the fucking title of the show, it's set in the 1970s.
Yeah. And one of the cool things about the show is that I think people like it so much is that it feels kind of original. It feels like it's made at home.
Yeah.
The home, like the house itself, feels homey.
Yep. The conversations.
And it really depends on between the adults and the kids. Now, the reason that I love it so much was because I lived the 2000s version of that 70s show. I had a group of friends who I was friends with forever. We've known each other since we were young. May not have been best friends very young, but we knew each other and we were cool with each other. And then as we got older, we became best friends. And so there was more of us than there were them. And so you can't really put like a placement on who was who, but you can take like certain character traits from characters of the show,
right,
and put it on my friends in the group that we hung out with. And not only that, but we had a garage that was separated from the house that we drank and smoked and did everything in.
Yeah.
and at first, when we were younger, and before we started drinking, before we started smoking, it was kind of like the place we went to because we had like adult supervision, but at the same time we didn't.
Oh, that's dangerous.
And then
that's dangerous right there.
And then there was a tragedy that happened within that family. And I'm not going to jump into that.
Oh, God.
And then we pretty much had no adult supervision for the rest of our high school years.
Well, you know what, Dom? To be fair, a tragedy occurred with some of the cast members of That 70s Show.
Yeah.
So you know what? Right now, you're basically living that show right now,
well,
it sounds like.
A grape charge.
Hopefully not.
Grape charges and a death are very two different things.
Those... You know what? Yeah. Apples to oranges for some people, but yeah, you're right.
What does that even mean?
Apples to oranges.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude. That's a good phrase. I'm bringing it back, baby.
It's good. But no. So we did a lot of things that they did in the show. So when I watch the show, I get this nostalgic feeling like, oh, that's something we did. We used to try to hook up with so all these women, or we did have friends that dated some of the females in the group. And when they broke up, the females that were in the group, that was part of that, they're part of their relationship.
Yeah.
They kind of stuck around and always hung out with us. So yeah, so when I watch that, it kind of takes me back to whenever I was younger and I had a group of friends and we hung out in the garage and we smoked all the time and we drank all the time and we were stupid and we were funny.
And we were watching Star Wars and new Star Wars movies were coming out at the time.
Well, we didn't really watch Star Wars.
Well, fuck.
but we did watch a lot of movies during that time. Like,
listen to a lot of music.
Yeah, well, one of our buddies played music, and so he would always play guitar when we were drinking and smoking.
Nice.
We watched Due Date a lot, because that's one of the movies that we turned on when the party was getting started. Kind of like as background.
Oh
noise.
Yeah, guys, the party's about to start. We got fucking Due Dates.
Or it's not really when it gets started. It's kind of like midst party whenever everybody's starting to get really messed up.
Oh, good.
And it's time for people to start passing out about 3 o'clock in the morning. And so we turn on Due Date. So I don't know why we turn it on. I'm being real with you.
I don't know.
But it will play all night long.
That's like the equivalent to that for me when I was young. I was like a kid though. Was having Shrek in the DVD player at all times.
That's a good movie though.
I'm surprised that fucking CD worked after like the 2.5 years it was just in there. Like, my dad didn't even use the DVD player anymore. There was no point. He knew what was in there.
It's just Shrek.
It's just Shrek. Only Shrek, baby.
But yeah, that movie will play, as we're passing out and falling asleep. Because there's couches in the garage, couches in the basement.
Yeah. I'm seeing the comparisons. I'm drawing the lines together. It's all connecting.
But we would like turn on Due Date for this instance. And it would play as we pass out. And then about 7 o'clock in the morning. You're younger at this time, so you can handle your hangovers better than you can now as a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
But we were like about 7 o'clock in the morning because we passed out around 3, 4. Yeah. You can hear that menu screen. You remember the DVDs, the menu screens have music on it, and one of 3 things is going to happen.
Yeah.
Eventually, the DVD player is going to turn off by itself.
Yep. Power save. Yep.
Number 2, it's going to start playing again without selecting. And the movie is going to play over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Harold and Kumar did.
Oh, did autoplay thing?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And we'll be excited about that.
Okay.
Or number 3, the movie will play the fucking menu song over and over and over and over and over and over. And we were listening to that shit for 4 hours, like passed out drunk.
I feel like that's like a special place in hell for certain people. And some dude that worked at a Blockbuster's in hell right now, and he's listening to the DVD menu music of his worst movies he hated.
So here it is like 7 or 8 in the morning, and we're passed out on the couch, hungover, because we just passed out from drinking like a half-gallon bottle apiece. Well, not a piece, but like between 5 people, half-gallon of some cheap liquor.
Jesus. You grew up to still be like 6'5", you son of a bitch.
But yeah, about 7 o'clock in the morning, we hit the sun will shine through. That helped wake us up, and then you hear that music just playing over and over again, and goddamn, you just want to throw that fucking DVD player against the wall, but you're so hungover and feel like shit that all you did was lay there, and you're just like, fuck, shut up, and you're laying there. You have no motivation to get up because you feel so bad, and eventually you just get up and like yell at it, turn off the TV, and then you lay back down. And at that point, everybody's awake. So
there you go. As you're screaming in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so yeah, we had fun in this garage. It was a big party place. It was kind of like the basement. It was a blast, and that's why I have a lot of like nostalgic feelings when I watch it. I have a lot of like personal feelings, and now as an adult too, I can like connect with that. But at the same time, I can connect with Red and Kitty, like the parents.
Oh, yeah. As you're getting older, you're starting to link yourself to other fucking people now.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's also another connection with another show later that I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
But later. But like one of the things that Red says that really helps me out when I'm not feeling motivated is that work sucks. And that's why they call it work. Because if work was fun, then they call it super fun time. But it's not. It's called work.
I love going to super fun time, baby.
And yeah, I say that to myself whenever I'm working, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. And I'm like, oh yeah, nobody wants to be here.
Yeah, no shit.
Nobody wants to, do what we're doing at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's my first show, and it's just nostalgic.
All right. I feel like that's going to be the key takeaway from this is that we all like nostalgic shit.
Yeah.
At one point, like if you're a kid, you're going to say like, oh, my favorite movies are shit that came out within my lifespan and I'm a kid. So it's like 10 years maybe or less. Just so you know, that's how math works. So if he was 7 years, it would be like 7 years ago.
So potato.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. You get it. But yeah, damn, dude, that's a good pick. I think the thing that's going to make you upset is the fact that like I have one TV show that's in my top 4.
Okay.
And
I got 2 movies, 2 shows.
Okay. Well, I got 3 movies, 1 show, and the show is we'll get to that anyway. Okay. I'm going to start off with a good. Wait, can I start? Please, Dom, can I start?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Hold on a second. Let me check.
Hmm?
Let me call my mom.
Okay. Tell her I said hi.
Ring.
What is she wearing? Oh, I'll talk to her later. I'll talk to her after this.
Ring. Mom, hey.
Yeah.
Can Zeus talk?
Yeah.
Okay. She said yeah.
I fucking love that woman so much. Anyway, all right, my first movie, it's going to be Aliens. Not Alien, but Aliens, plural. This was made in the 80s, I think like maybe a few years, like 2 or 3 years after the first Alien movie came out.
Okay, I got
This is the one where you had like the colonial space marines.
Got you.
Which, I will say this, that was one of the reasons why I was like interested in joining the Marine Corps. It was between that and like Full Metal Jacket. I was like, man, the Marines are so cool. I love how that dude got bullied to the point where he blew his fucking brains out. That was neat. As every Marine does. But Aliens, I was young too when I saw it, man. So
that would have been terrifying.
It was. My father was a drinker. No, my father was a dude that would buy into like the newest technological craze happening, which at the time in the 90s when I was a kid was Laserdisc. And for those of you who don't know the beauty of a Laserdisc, imagine a CD, but imagine it like the size of a fucking dinner plate. All right? And imagine the player for it costs like $1,200.
Jesus.
In the 90s, $1,200, which if you put that in for inflation today, that's about $50,000 bajillion dollars. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
He bought one, and my mom was pissed because when you have 4 kids, buying a fucking expensive media player when you could have bought like $150 VCR, which was still a bit of money. But
what year was this?
This was like 96, 97. So I was like 6 or 7 years old when I saw it.
Were DVD players a thing yet?
No.
Oh.
No. If they were, maybe only in Japan, where they get all the good shit first before we do.
Yeah.
This is a super futuristic. Don't give it to the round eye, though. You hold it now.
So Sony's waiting for the perfect time to drop it.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
so PlayStation came out like mid 90s.
Yeah.
So that was a CD. That was a CD player.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking PS2s.
Yeah, you're thinking because
PS2 had a DVD
player.
Yeah.
Fucking that was just that you were multitasking when you bought the PS2. You got the cheap ass DVD player plus a video game console
and CD. Oh,
dude.
Because CDs weren't dead yet.
They're still not, kind of.
I mean,
you can throw one in there just for. I mean, if you can find a thing with the disc drive, you can find.
Yeah. Some like 2010 cars have them.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Aliens. So I love that movie. The movie for me as a kid growing up with it, it had just like the right combination of stuff. It was, number one, it was sci-fi, and it was like weirdly like far future, but I felt like, well, this is like a far future that will be achievable within like 4 generations of people.
Yeah.
So, which was cool because that gave me hope as a child. I was like, maybe one day we'll make it back to the moon and the stars and everything will be gravy. And meanwhile, like the planet's slowly dying, and I'm here too on it. But you had that. You had the cool special effects because I'm a big practical effect guy. I love practical effects. CGI, if it works, utilize it. But it's like a time and a place for that kind of shit. I feel when you watch a movie that had a budget of like $2 trillion or whatever the fuck it takes to make the newest Avatar movie, and there's so much CGI, and it looks good, but it's just
it feels like animation, like cartoons.
My whole thing is like, if you're gonna do that, why not just make the human actors fucking CGI too? Like, why not just make it animated at that point when 90% of it's animated?
Yeah, I guess that's the point.
I guess so. You're mixing the two together. Like, look how good the CGI is.
Because they used to have movies like that too, where it's like CGI and humans, like the old Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
not old Godzilla.
Yeah,
but like 90s. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, look at like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You can still watch that and like, fuck yeah, dude, this shit still slaps. It works.
Yeah,
I like
that's
this.
That's a good movie.
It is a good movie. Not one of my top 4 though.
Not bad.
But yeah, the action, the horror, the body horror, just with like people getting fucked up, like the gore. I still remember when, spoilers by the way, for a over 30-year-old movie, 40-year-old movie actually. So if you haven't watched it yet, spoiler alert for all of this shit we're about to say. So yeah, the android bishop, he gets ripped in half by the alien queen, and the androids in the alien universe, they have like white milky blood and like gas bladders and shit in the inside of their body. But it fucked with me seeing him because, you know, I'm not understanding as a kid, and this guy's like ripped in half, but he's still moving around and talking and shit. Like, blah, 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 Ripley. No, you did it, Ripley. Good job. High five. And he's like, also, my legs are over there. But the movie itself was just so appealing to me as this like kid growing up, and I loved action stuff, and I like these like war movies. But this movie wasn't just action. Yeah, it was a lot focused on action, but the horror elements, and then just like the character development, the story building, everything was really good except for Newt, which was the little girl. Fuck Newt. I hate her. She was awful. She was a terrible, terrible person in the movie. I hated that kid. Ripley should have just let her get taken by aliens and just fucking offer her up. Here you go. We got a useless piece of emotional baggage for you. There. Okay, bye, Newt. Bye.
God, I wish I knew what you were talking about.
All right, well, have you not seen Aliens?
No, I've seen the first one. That's cool. It's a 30-year-old movie. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
Oh, shit. I just realized, like, the movies that I like, I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'm sure Dom's seen this multi-million-dollar making movie.
I watched the first Alien, and it was okay. It wasn't really something that I cared about, so I never watched any others. I did watch Alien vs. Predator, so...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you did that. Hey, fun fact for anyone wanting to check out these, like, Alien movies. Alien 1 is a good horror movie. It's definitely interesting. It's its own thing. Aliens is a fun action movie. It's great to watch with, like, a group of friends. Alien 3 is a mixed bag. Some people like it, some people don't. It kind of treads on the first movie's grounds of horror. Anything after that, if you're looking at like Alien, what is it called? Resurrection or some shit. The fourth movie is just, It feels like a sci-fi original movie almost.
I think I've seen that one.
I think Joss Whedon worked on it.
Why's that name familiar?
He does all those fucking comic book movies and shit now. Yeah.
Okay.
But he did that movie, and he got kind of hosed by the production company, I think, or one of the big wigs basically said, like, hey, we like your ideas, but we're also going to cut out like 80% of your ideas. And
that sounds about right.
Yeah. Ron Perlman's in it.
And what, the Resurrection?
Yeah.
Hellboy's in it?
Hellboy's in it.
Clay Morrow's in it?
He says, aliens never changes. Just incorrect fucking English speech.
Yo, speaking of Ron Perlman, have you seen like the writer's strike and actor strike in LA?
Yeah.
So Ron Perlman hopped on TikTok and he was mad about Bob Iger saying that that they're not going to come to like terms with anybody. Yeah. They're just going to wait until
everyone's broke.
Yeah, and homeless.
And homeless. Bunch of homeless actors and writers on the side of the street in Skid Row, blowing people for money.
Pretty much.
That'd be cool. Oh, dude, we can have Ron Perlman. We can get him on the podcast.
Ron Perlman went to TikTok and he was talking about how there's more than one way to lose a house.
Yeah,
and
it really is.
Pretty much threatening Bob Iger. And I was just like, oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. He puts on the Hellboy outfit one last time. Oh, man.
It's kind of funny that you brought up Ron Perlman, but go ahead.
He should always get brought up. Respect to Ron Perlman, man. Yeah. I love the fact that he's probably one of the... And I'm not a good-looking man. I'm a pretty ugly homunculus of a person. I'm a little goblin boy. But I love the fact that Ron Perlman, looking the way he does, still finds work. You know what, man? That gives me hope. One day I might be an extra in a Netflix original that only lasts one season.
Might be.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, we might already be. We don't even know it yet.
I mean...
Netflix be creepy like that, man.
I mean, Netflix did say that they probably might start using AI to scan people, like extras. That way they don't have to pay extras anymore.
I'm going to see like a Netflix original where it has like male nudity in it. And I'm going to recognize my dick and be like, oh, they stole that from me. That's mine. I know that. I know that curve from anywhere.
That's mine, dude.
Baby. So, yeah. Aliens. Check it out. It's really fun. I mean, I can't say anything more than that. So, Dom, goes back over to you.
Well, I was going to save this one because it's a TV show. But
another TV show.
But you mentioned Ron Perlman.
I did mention him.
That's why I perked up and started talking.
Everyone should when you hear his name.
Because my next show would be Sons of Anarchy.
Oh.
Which also has Ron Perlman in it.
It does.
Yeah. Sons of Anarchy. I was just
any particular seasons or like the whole show?
Oh,
because I know with that 70s show for you, that's like continuous. It's like all the seasons are
on 70s, it's season 1 through 7.
Okay.
And then 8.
It's like talking about the fucking Simpsons.
Well, Topher Grace went to do Spider-Man.
I know. Yeah.
And...
Because, that worked out for him really well. Everyone does. Don't laugh.
Ashton Kutcher kind of started doing Ashton Kutcher things. So, at this time, he was like a heartthrob.
He's like huffing paint.
And he was doing Punk'd and Butterfly Effect and all that. And I guess he chose those instead of 70s show. I mean,
he's making good money regardless.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hate on him.
And he didn't get the same, attitude that everybody gave Topher Grace. But also Topher Grace, from what I heard, had a bad attitude with everybody else. He thought he was better than everyone else. You know what?
When I look at Topher Grace, and I'm sure our listeners will agree, if they all look at a picture of Topher Grace, you kind of get that vibe of like, I'm sure he'd be like neat to see and like wave at, but if I try to hold a conversation with him, I'd want to punch him in the fucking face.
Oh man, yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
but season 8 was weird. They brought in other actors. It was just odd. Do I watch it? I love the last episode. So
okay.
There's one part where Ashton Kutcher is sitting on the water tower. He's coming back, Kelso, and it's sitting on the water tower.
Name dropped because you didn't know.
And he had like a rocket. He was going to blast into the future. And I say that all the time.
Blast into the future?
Yeah.
Is that your catchphrase?
Maybe.
Okay.
No. But yeah.
We'll make a t-shirt out of it. It'll be cool.
But yeah, so my next show would be Sons of Anarchy. Okay. And man, my favorite season. Season 1.
Season 1 hit really good. Because even I watched, and I'm not a big TV show guy. Even I watched like most of season 1. Don't remember it, but I know I watched it.
Anytime I watch it, I've rewatched it about 4 or 5 times now. And anytime I've rewatched it, season 1 brings me this happy feeling. Like, oh man, everybody's a family. They're a group. They all love each other. And then eventually Clay, Ron Perlman.
Yep.
he starts like getting paranoid that Jack's trying to take over the club.
Okay.
And Jack starts reading things from his dad, starts figuring out that maybe his dad's death wasn't an accident. I don't know. It's
so much drama with these bikers.
And something that I found out later is also Sons of Anarchy is Hamlet.
Yeah, actually, you know what? A lot of things are Lion King is Hamlet.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Lion
yeah.
King.
The prodigal son.
Yeah. Star Wars is Hamlet.
Is it?
We're Hamlet.
Are we?
I'm gonna kill you.
Wow.
I don't know. Spoiler alert for the future episodes. Totally gonna do it.
Not nice.
No, I'm not. Not really. If Dom ends up dying mysteriously, it wasn't me. I swear. I have an alibi.
It'd be funny if
I'm sure.
Finally go.
You fucking die, and I'm just like, whoa. Oh God! I hope no one subs after this fucking episode because now they're gonna start taking notes.
But yeah, that show kind of taught me just pretty much that it's a dog eat dog world, and sometimes you just gotta let things go and build your own future, like kind of forge your own path. And so yeah.
That's interesting, too, because that show definitely gives the vibe of, like, reminding people, hey, just so you know, people suck and everything's gray. It's not black and white.
Yeah.
Like, I might be the villain in this episode, but next season, I'm going to be the hero.
Yep.
And you're going to be really conflicted at home eating your popcorn and drinking your orange juice.
Yeah, man. There's one season where Tig, spoiler alert, if you didn't know.
Spoiler alert for this show that's also, it's available.
I think last season was 2014, so.
Yeah, that should be
so.
Enough
Spoiler
time, right?
alert!
Almost 10 years.
Tig, yeah. Tig ends up killing Opie's wife, and
Dom, I didn't even see that yet. I didn't even know. Now I'm in your shoes. Oh no. It's okay.
No, we gotta be.
I'll get over it.
We gotta be expecting spoilers from each other.
I'll never get over this stuff.
He ends up killing Opie's wife, and at first he was like they meant to kill Opie. And he did it because he thought Opie was a snitch because some DEA stuff happened.
Of course.
And Opie's wife ended up driving his truck home because he had the kids. So when Tig pulled up on the truck thinking it was Opie, he just shot from the back windshield and drove by, saw it was her. And then for like a whole season, you see Tig dealing with that. And he's just like heartbroken. He's sick with himself. He's like paranoid. And eventually he just tells Opie, I killed your wife. And that's beautiful to me. I don't know.
Something so beautiful about admitting the murder.
Well, it's more like I don't know, fighting your demons and realizing that maybe you are in the wrong. That maybe you did fuck up. Meanwhile, Clay is just like a dick about it. He's like he's telling Tig to
just an asshole.
They better not tell. You better not do this or that or this. And Tig's just like, but I'm so fucked up. Like I'm tired of this being on my shoulders. I killed my friend's wife.
Yeah.
And that friend wasn't even a snitch because they figured out later that he was set up. So not only does he feel bad for trying to kill his friend or club member, but he also feels really bad that he killed his friend's wife on accident.
To be fair, I'd also feel pretty bad if I did something like that too. I'd be like, whoopsie doodles.
And then on top of that, like while that's going on, Clay is trying to bring Opie in to like be under his wing because Jax is starting to like.
Yeah, for the listener at home or in the car, wherever you're at, Dom has a whiteboard out and he's connecting all of this shit together. So I'm just kind of observing it, and I'm very worried about my friend's mental health and well-being. But continue, sir.
But at the same time, while this is going on, Clay is bringing Opie in because he also feels bad that he was doing this, to Opie, and it happened to his wife and all that. So he's just like, "Come here, son. I love you." Because Jax is being an asshole because he's starting to realize, like I said earlier, maybe his dad's death wasn't an accident. And Clay's starting to catch on to that too. Like he's being paranoid that, he wants the president's seat. And, it's just weird. Like it's just really good acting. It's a really good story. They took Hamlet and kind of like spun on it. And it's just great. And like you said earlier, like some people that you think is a bad guy turn out to be a good guy later. Yeah. Because later on Tig goes through some shit and you start feeling like real sympathetic for Tig. Like his daughter gets burned alive. So
ooh, jinx. What a way to end the sentence on that too. I'm sorry. Like, daughter gets burned alive. So anyways,
you start feeling bad for Tia because
right.
But yeah, it's a great show. and it kind of brought out my more serious side because, like in life, because while I was binging this and watching it over and over again, I was just like, I gotta stop being so fucking soft.
I love the fact that Sons of Anarchy is what made you start your edgelord fucking arc in the anime of your life. That's beautiful, man.
Oh, man.
I will say this. So I'm from California originally. And I'm sorry for anyone that's like, oh, I thought I was gonna like you. But now, yeah, boo, whatever, libtard.
Y'all pay too much for rent.
yeah. How's it like being homeless? Terrible. Anyway,
yo, speaking of,
yeah.
I looked at an apartment the other day.
Yeah,
a 1-bedroom apartment.
$3,000.
Yeah, $3,000.
Where in California? Was it
San
LA?
Diego.
San Diego. Yeah, that's about right. Folks, if you ever want to go live in California, don't live in a fucking city with a population over 100,000. You're not going to be able to fucking afford it. Don't. Go to a small fucking town and hope it's not riddled with meth heads. Speaking of which, I'm from a place called Hollister, California, not the clothing line. Everyone gets that confused. Wow, you guys made the clothes? Like, cool. Because of you, my shitty 13-year-old daughter drags me in there for 3 hours every fucking week when I go to the mall and I want to kill myself. Sorry for that. But no, we didn't start that. Hollister is historically, it is a farming community. It's a farming town.
No.
Yep. Small town in California, which has a population of 30,000. That's considered a small town. But it is also home to one of the country's largest biker rallies. So as a kid, I got to grow up around bikers. And I will say, Sons of Anarchy, fucking mispronounced that name, Sons of Anarchy, the TV show. It made me realize that they did get some shit wrong because every biker I'd ever seen was definitely on something. It was either amphetamines, it was like coke, heroin. Like that was the norm for me. Bikers, for me in real life, bikers are these dudes that will definitely stab you or shoot you and also drink they never drink light beer. I always saw a biker, they always had full fucking flavored beer, just a regular Budweiser or whatever. Well, in Cali, it would be like Corona. Corona Extra. Just they wanted more beer in that. Yeah, nice chunky beers. But, Sons of Anarchy, they made me think that, they made me forget that bikers are just these scary old dudes that definitely will fuck you and fuck you up at the same time. So be aware of that. Don't try to start a motorcycle club thinking it's going to be like Sons of Anarchy.
You know, there are other what do you call them, clubs in the show that are more based around like being methed up, being drugged out, that's the journey, brother. That's what they probably said, like hitting you up with that black tar heroin and you're just like, oh, the journey begins. But dude, Sons of Anarchy, good fucking pick, man. Yeah, man, it's awesome. It was wild how you talked about Ron Perlman.
It just made you remember, like, oh, my show.
No, it wasn't. I got it written down on my phone.
Everything's linked to Ron Perlman if you think about it, buddy.
You're right.
Yeah, he's like the butterfly effect. Ashton Kutcher.
That was a good movie. Yeah, that was a great movie.
My girlfriend loves that movie.
I didn't get it for a while. I was just like, what is going on here? So I'll watch it again. But I was also like 7.
Yeah, you might have fucked up there. Yeah. There was a lot of shit happening in that movie for a 7-year-old, to be fair.
Honestly, I was probably like 10 or 11, but still
a lot. So,
you know what another movie was that confused me, and I still don't get it?
What's that?
It kind of gave me the same vibe. I think it came out around the same time. Dreamcatcher. Yeah, did you ever watch that?
No. No. So, hey, real quick fun fact between me and Dom. So Dom consumes media at a healthy, normal, rate. Like some corporate executive would be looking at a picture of Dom's consumption of media and be like, yes, he's following all of the algorithms perfectly well. And then they'd go to me and it would be all over the fucking place. And he'd be like, I don't know about this one. We might have to cull this one. Make sure he's fixed. He can't breed.
My biggest thing is that as I got older, I quit watching movies.
Yeah.
And started watching more YouTube.
Yeah. And that's how I am now. Because, again, in the military, you usually don't get cable. You'll get internet. And that means you're kind of limited because when I joined, streaming was just becoming a thing. Mm-hmm. So you literally had the golden era YouTube at the time. This was like 2010, when YouTube was actually fun and free. And you just whip a nipple out every now and then. And YouTube like, oh, hey, don't do that. No. But going back to the movies thing. Is that what this episode's about? Going back to the movies thing, can I do my second pick?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Don't call your mom.
Sure.
I'm gonna talk to her later about this. No, get that
Okay.
shit. Slaps phone. Yeah. Why did you cock your phone like a shotgun?
I was hanging it up.
Okay.
Just not very good at making noises. I forgot what
we need a Foley guy.
I forgot what a landline sounds like. I haven't heard one in 10 years.
You need to go to a Goodwill and
Just
find an old fashioned phone. We're just props now. So my second pick, another movie, classic banger, fucking John Carpenter's The Thing. Have you seen it? First off, I should start out with that. Have you seen that movie?
Is it old?
It is old. It's from the 80s.
I have.
You've seen John Carpenter's The Thing?
It's been so long and my third eye's opening up trying to remember.
Oh my God, look at that beautiful third eye. It's blue. How weird.
That's weird. My eyes are brown.
I know. It kind of throws it off. It's kind of like, it's neat. I like it.
I remember watching it with my grandpa. Yeah, I think I watched it more than once, but I was so young that I barely remember it. But I remember watching that and Swamp Thing at the same time.
Ooh, good combo.
Because it used to come on sci-fi a lot.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, episode 1, my grandpa would watch a lot of sci-fi. Or maybe episode 2, sorry.
Yeah.
My grandpa would watch a lot of sci-fi. And so, yeah, I watched Thing, but I don't remember a lot. So as you talk about it, my brain will unlock it.
So I'm sure a lot of people listening, they'll be like, oh yeah, John Carpenter's The Thing. Why don't you just call it The Thing, Jersh? And I have to say, the reason why is it's based off of a movie from the 50s, I think. And that movie's based off a book that was written prior to that. So I'm pretty sure it was like a thing from outer space or some dumb shit like that. That was the original 1950s one. Which I saw that one too, thinking it was going to be like John Carpenter's The Thing, and it wasn't. I was very disappointed. I was like, where's the body horror and the tentacles exploding out of the dog?
So how did this movie connect to you?
So this movie connected to me because I am a very pessimistic, negative boy. I am a negative Nancy. I am the guy that's like, the glass not only is half empty, I grab the glass and I pour it and I like smash it on the fucking counter and break the glass and like, now look at the glass.
Now it's empty.
That's what the glass actually is.
Now it's empty. It's empty.
It's super. It can't get more empty than this. Scoop the water and glass in the glass.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Yeah, I did. So I've always been like that. Even when I was a kid, I was very negative, and joining the military and deploying to a combat zone did not help with that. Watching that movie when I was younger, and I still, again, whenever it's on, I will watch that fucking movie. Watching that movie basically is an existential crisis of negativity and just how inferior we are as a species, how incapable we are of really dealing with threats adequately, and how paranoid and untrusting we are of our friends. Like, dude, the movie really, if the thing, parasite, whatever, the virus, whatever it is, organism, because that's what it is, because each individual cell of the thing is a self-aware creature. So like a single cell is aware and wants to preserve its own life and will do whatever it can. The idea of something like that terrifies the fuck out of me as a human being, where I'm like, I'm hoping my brain's controlling my body correctly today as I'm driving my car. Like, hopefully my brain doesn't have a blood vessel that bursts and I fucking crash into a ditch. So the movie itself is great. The actors are amazing. Wilford Brimley is my favorite actor in the whole movie. Some people are going to be like, what about the guy that plays as McCready? I forget how to pronounce his name. I'm autistic. I can't pronounce names to save my life. But Wilford Brimley is amazing. He's great. Like, I'll kill you! Like, bang, bang! Like, he's just this crazy old man that figures out how fucked the whole outpost research station is and how fucked humanity is if this gets off of Antarctica, which is where it's set. And he just, like, goes out of his way to fuck over his friends. Because he knows that they're probably all going to be turned into the thing anyway and that they're all screwed. And the cool thing with this movie, guys, because I don't want to gush too much about it, even though I am. The cool thing with this movie demands that you rewatch it again. Because every time I rewatch this movie, to this day, I will notice one other little subtle thing I missed. Just little details. It's like Shaun of the Dead. How you rewatch Shaun of the Dead and you pick up like, oh shit, hey, I recognize that, or wow, I didn't even catch that last time. John Carpenter's The Thing is the same experience. My last thing I want to say on The Thing, that's a lot of things, is don't watch the fucking prequel movie that they tried to fucking release a few years later using shitty CGI, and it's bad. And it's fucking awful. And it makes me sad because that movie was bad enough to where in my head I was like, well, there goes any possibilities of more Thing-related shit coming out. Thanks, Hollywood producers that thought this would be a good idea and didn't put more work and effort into it.
That sounds about right.
I appreciate that. I love that. But yeah, it's a great Christmas movie too. So tis the season to pop in The Thing, while you're all nestled up in your couch, kind of cold, especially when it's cold. It's snowing outside. You got your hot cocoa. You got The Thing playing. All the lights are off. Oh, dude, it's an experience. Turn the volume, crank that shit up, dude. Get that surround sound going. But yeah, that's my second pick, man. The Thing. You fucking doing? Guys, he's rocking back. I'm scared. Dom? Dom. Oh, thank God. Don't worry, everyone. It's just Christmas tunes. We're good. He's okay.
No, once you said Christmas, my brain went jingle, 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 jingle.
Just immediately seasonal.
Don't you love movies like that? That's like,
yeah, of course. Of course I do.
Where it's like not supposed to be a Christmas movie, but people said, nah, it's a Christmas movie. Like, like Die Hard.
I was about to Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So from here out, The Thing is a Christmas movie.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Also, God bless this holiday season. I left you guys a little basket of gingerbread next to the body of that guy's brother. Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
Dankeschön.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So Dommy Wami, I need that third pick.
I've been fighting myself over.
I noticed the bruises. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. No, that's from my cat.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say your wife. I was like, God damn, Dom.
That's from my cat. I
fell down some stairs.
But no. So I've been fighting with myself over what to choose as my fourth one.
Well, you're on your third one.
And I'm going to wait.
You're on your third one, so you're good now.
So, I'm going to talk about a movie. A movie, because I haven't talked about a movie yet. My fourth one is going to be a mix-up between another movie and a show. So, I got to figure out which one it is going to be during my now conversation and your next one.
Okay.
I'm just going to wing it.
That's fine. I think the beautiful thing with picking these is that like me remembering characters for a movie I've seen like 40 fucking times. I should definitely remember the names of the characters. I don't. I am practically. I have dementia. I have adult dementia when it comes to names. I do that at work. I work next to people all fucking day. Hey, Mike, it's Mark. Oh,
that's close.
I knew that. I knew that was your name.
It used to be Brad, but then eventually start calling him Mike because you're like, there's an M and a K in it somewhere.
And you know what it is? It's the fact that in the military you have name tags.
Oh, yeah.
So it should help me. Maybe I should have stayed in. I would have remembered.
What's your name? Morris.
Hey, Morris. And like even then they'd probably be like, it says Dietery. Oh, I knew that, Morris.
I'm stupid.
Yeah, that too. That was an easy cop out. I'm just dumb.
So movie time.
Movie time.
This might be a movie that you haven't heard of. I'm
down with that. Yeah.
It was popular with a niche group.
Okay.
But I don't think many people have seen it outside that niche group. But there has been instances of people knowing it.
Yeah.
It's the movie Grind. You ever seen it?
That sounds familiar, but I don't think I have.
Skateboarding movie.
That's probably why I wasn't big into skateboarding. I'm too short to skateboard.
I mean, I'm too fat to skateboard, so.
Dude, if we combine each other, we still wouldn't be able to skateboard. Be cool though. Okay. With our powers combined, we could still not do a kickflip or an ollie.
We can barely ride.
But I like putting the wax on my fucking board.
I like going to the skate park and standing.
Yeah. I would just go there to hang out.
Hey, Dom, you want to drop in?
I'm sitting on the board as I drop in. I'm sitting on it. Yeah.
Hands up. Everybody's looking at you.
Yeah. Grown adult.
That makes it better.
All right. Grind.
Grind.
Not Grinder, the app, but Grind.
No. Not Grinder.
No, not Grind. Sorry, my gay audience. Not today.
But yeah, Grind. It's a movie about some high school friends who skateboard.
All right.
One of them, I think, has dropped out or something, and he lives with them. They actually don't give a deep, like, what the fuck's up with this guy? He's just living at this dude's house.
I like that. Yeah. Don't even explain it to me. Let me put it together in my mind. I'm gonna make up shit.
Because when you first get introduced to him, he's skating off the roof of the house into a pool.
Okay. That's it.
But the other two are in high school and they're about to graduate.
All right. They got their shit going.
And they're like, hey, I want to try to go, do something with a skateboarding thing before we have to go to college. And one guy's he's the main character. He's
the cool boy.
He's cool, but he's also not cool.
Oh yeah, killer combo.
The guy living at his house, he is like wild and crazy. Yeah. I mean, he's some dude living at his house.
He's a
comedic humor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other friend that's actually in school with him and that's about to graduate with him, he's a smart guy. He's about to get scholarships to go to college. So that's part of the argument too. Like, hey, I have to go to college. This is my college money. Yada yada yada.
So fucked up. I'm like a responsible adult now because in my head I'm like, well, good for you, buddy. I'm glad you do. I hope you pick a good, strong major. And if that doesn't work out, you go to community college and learn a tech trade.
So they try to figure out how to go on a skateboarding tour with little money and
that
nothing.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. So they get the help of a fourth friend who they never explained how they're friends or anything.
Sometimes that's teenager shit, man. You just have that random guy that you're friends with, quote unquote friends with.
Who's like 25 probably. Sweet Lou.
Whoa.
So, I don't know anything about Sweet Lou. They just said, I know somebody with a van. And they go to a skate park and Sweet Lou is out there like
he's eating a fucking SpongeBob SquarePants popsicle.
Like he's trying to womanize everybody. He's a good looking guy. He's got the hair and the.
I'd be like, dude, you're 25. These are teenagers, dog. Get the fuck out of here.
He almost gives off the same vibe as God, what's his name on Dazed and Confused? Matthew McConaughey's character. Yeah. The same vibe as that, except for a little
skateboarders,
a little less creepy and and because Matthew says in that one line. Thing I like about school.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna finish that line. I don't want it to be recorded and used against me later.
But yeah, they get his help, and the only reason why they get his help is because this girl walks up. She's like, "Hey, Sweet Lou." He's like, "Hey, Wednesday," or something like that. And she's like, "No, it's Brooke or something." And he goes, "Right." And she's like, "My dad found out about us." And Dad gets out of the car with a baseball bat. And he's like, skate tour, and they all just hop in the van and run.
he makes the big gulp sounds like gulp. Looks at the camera directly like skate tour, I guess. And they scramble away like Scooby-Doo in the gang.
Oh shit! Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
So yeah,
I'm liking this movie so far.
They go on this tour and they have bad luck. They have like cool. They accidentally made a rivalry with this skateboarding club that has money because they have Escalades and shit.
Nice.
They are white guys who are
not nice.
who are acting.
Are they acting like a certain other people?
African Americans.
Okay. You know what? I don't know. Are they cool about it though?
Nope.
They're not cool.
Very obnoxious about it.
Ooh. They're not being respectful.
Kind of like a.
They're doing some culture vulture shit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. They're definitely trying to appropriate.
For a second, I was going to say, oh, nice. No, not nice, folks. Don't do that.
No, maybe they were trying to assimilate. I don't know. Regardless.
Dom, wait. Real quick side question for our viewers and for me. If I did a genealogy test and I found out I was a certain race of people, how much of a percentage of that people do I need to be for me to start doing shit like that? That would be not culturally appropriating?
I'm the wrong one to ask.
I'm thinking 25%. At least 25 and up, you're good to go. Is that not enough?
I don't know.
Is that fucking not enough? I'm nervous now. Like, fuck.
That's not my opinion.
My older sister's doing a genealogy test. I'm really curious to see how it comes out, and I'm really thinking I'm going to be surprised.
I don't know. What's your last name? You guys say it, but just think about it.
I know what my last name is, but also my dad doesn't know what the fuck he is, and he's from a country that's famous for having people from other places in the world.
That's true.
Deported to during the 16 and 1700s.
That's true.
So I'm very... anyway, that'll be my own little mountain to climb.
But yeah, eventually, they meet some friends. They have a good time. The van gets stolen. It's like hardships, and at the very end, they have a big skate tournament with one of the guys from that other group in front of everybody, almost like an X Games type of thing. Has a killer soundtrack. I don't know, it's just always rung out to me. I always watched it. Like, I watched it so many times.
It sounds like a really good chill movie to watch.
It is. It's a good skateboarding movie. And yeah, it just kind of reminds me that, chase after your dreams. Just go after what you want. Go for it.
Hell yeah.
And
I'm down with that, man.
yeah.
As a grown man that can no longer chase his dreams, fuck yeah, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
Dream chasing.
So yeah, it's just always kind of taught me, like, just keep chasing your dream no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Even if you fail 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah, all the time.
Just keep trying.
Hell yeah.
And
even if you keep failing, someone's going to get entertained by that, and at least you're bringing joy to someone else's life.
Exactly.
There you go.
It's not just you in misery.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
Guess what? You're not the main fucking character in this story.
But yeah, there's not really much to the movie. It's a good movie. That's about the only lesson it has. Just keep chasing your dreams.
I like that.
Maybe get a better relationship with your parents, because the dude that was living at the dude's house, he had a bad grudge against his parents, and he ended up, fixing it. And trade for help because they needed a car.
Yeah. Do you need that car though?
But yeah, it's a fun, chill, relaxing, good show. There's not a lot of cussing. Is there any nudity? No, I don't think so. I think it's like PG-13 nudity, like bras.
Okay.
Yeah.
A side boob.
Yeah,
and butt crack maybe.
And making out, stuff like that.
One F-bomb being dropped.
I don't think there's any F-bombs.
Ooh, wow. Okay, then they had to make it up with the nudity. Then.
But Tom Green is in it.
That's why it was rated. It was going to be a PG movie, but when Tom Green showed up, he was like, "No, PG-13. He's going to do something."
There's a lot of sexual acts in the movie, but you don't see anything. That's probably why I got the PG-13.
Okay.
But yeah, Tom Green's character in the movie, he only has one part. He's playing a guy that works at a skate shop, and they walk in.
I would never imagine that. I would imagine him being the guy like offering to suck your dick for money outside the skate shop.
No, they walk in. I forget everybody's name, but so they're trying to follow this famous guy, who is on tour. And he's getting paid to be on tour. They're like, hey, we're trying to follow this guy so we can skate, maybe get noticed, maybe give him a demo tape, yada yada yada.
God, I remember that shit.
Yeah,
tapes.
yeah. And Tom Green's just like, oh, you missed him yesterday. And they're like, oh, man, where's he at now? And he wouldn't really answer him. And he's like, yeah, he was off the hook. He's just off the hook. And he takes his finger. He's like, off the hook.
You remember when people thought Tom Green was funny? Was this prior to 9/11?
You mean Backwards Man?
Yeah, Backwards Man's Backwards Man. God,
what's the movie called? Freddie Got Fingered.
Freddie Got Fingered. Yeah,
backwards
he did.
man, backwards man, backwards man, backwards man. I can walk back as fast as you can. I can walk back as
fast as you can. Anyway, that is not one of my favorite fucking movies. I'll tell you that right, goddamn.
What, Freddie Got Fingered?
No,
it's a good one. I love it. I love
the scene where he's making a skate ramp like a vert.
I thought you were gonna say when he fucking masturbated an elephant and ejaculated all over his dad.
I forgot about that.
I thought you were talking about that particular scene,
no,
which was a hard sell to my parents growing up. I was like, hey, we should totally rent this movie.
Oh, the title didn't.
The title. All right, the title had my dad confused.
Hey, Dad,
because
he knows this movie called Freddie Got Fingered.
He thought at first, because he heard the title, I didn't show him the front yet, so he thought it was like an Italian fucking like mob movie.
Oh my god!
He's like, I don't know, son, that sounds kind of violent. And then he saw the cover, and he was like, absolutely not. No, we're not doing this. You're a good Christian boy, as we all know. I am a good Christian boy, and we are not doing this. So, your third.
But real quick, my favorite scene is the vert where he's hammering the nails in shitty, and he goes down, he gets caught by one of the nails, and he scrapes his fucking shit up with the nail. That's Freddie Got Fingered. But yeah, Grinds, that was my third movie. So yeah, all I gotta say about that. There's nothing too big about it or extravagant. Now that I'm thinking about it, you know what movie that reminds me of? 8 Mile. You ever watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen 8 Mile.
It's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the whole keep following your dreams, even if you're getting shit on.
I thought you were gonna say Freddie Got Fingered. You know, 8 Mile is a lot like Freddie Got Fingered if you think about it. If you put the pieces together.
Now, 8 Mile and Grinds got a lot of the same
moral of the story, just told differently.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's my number 3. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is gonna have to be The Goonies.
Oh my goodness, I knew it.
I fucking love. I'm sorry. I know. Joshua. It's a very played out 80s movie. It's so cliched. Yada yada. I don't give a shit. I love The Goonies. I love the stupid interactions. These dumb fucking kids who should all have been dead by the end of that movie. Yeah. Every single one of them should have died.
Yeah.
Maybe the teenage aged ones would have made it, like the oldest ones, like the brother and shit, and the girls would have died too. They would have fucking definitely have died. But he probably would have made it out. He still would have been like scarred for life, probably like crippled or some shit like that. But that movie, man, like I to this day, I will love to just happenstance flick that bastard on and just watch it through from beginning to end.
I have known you to do that.
I love it. I don't care if we riff on it. I don't care if it's silent and we're just enjoying the movie. I don't give a shit. Either way, I will love every second of that movie. And it's just great. It's great. I love Data, the fucking little Asian kid. I love him. I think that's why Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt ended up wanting to adopt Asian kids. I think they saw the Goonies a bunch and they were like, you know what? This kid will be smart. He'll make little inventions. He'll have a cute little accent. Like, it's gonna be great. And they high-fived and shit. And then they went to maybe Cambodia or China and just started, picking them like they were fucking little grapes on the vine. I love it. I love. I was gonna pick up great on the mic. Anyway, I love the main character. What the fuck is his name? He's played by Sean Astin. Sean Astin.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
The dude that played as Rudy. I know that character name. But anyway, the dude that played as Samwise in Lord of the Rings. For Dom hasn't seen Lord of the Rings. That's something we're going to have to do.
I have not.
That's a different sin you've committed that you'll have to atone for one day.
Listen, man, I just never had a chance to watch it all the way through until it came on streaming services.
And now you still haven't
and
watched them.
Like, I need to set aside 15 hours to watch it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you better fucking invest that time. I swear to God.
Watch director's cut too.
Yeah, do that too. Yeah, watch the extended versions where it adds like another hour and a half.
Dude, I watched Justice League, the
Snyder cut.
Yeah, and
how was it?
It was good.
It was Ben Hur.
I had to take so many breaks.
You're stretching and shit. You're just like, golly. So the one thing I do want to say on the Goonies as well. I just liked how natural the character interactions felt like to me because it made me remember just how fucking terrible kids are. Because we were all kids, folks. I'm sorry to tell you that. And we were awful. We were all awful. Don't try to come to me and say, you know what, actually, I volunteered a lot. Yeah, and then you also stuck firecrackers in frogs. And you did bad shit. Don't look at me, Tom. Don't you look at me. But yeah. That movie really does sell that. Just these are kids that like if you were an adult and you had them as neighbors, you'd be like, I fucking hate them. I hate them so much. Like I let the air out on their tires. I fuck with them and many times as I can legally get away with, I would fuck with these kids because I just despise them. But you know what? They're having little grand old adventures and doing dumb shit because as a kid, that's what you try to do. You're like, hey man, let's go. Where we lived at, it was farming communities. Let's go sneak in the orchard next door to the fucking suburbs that we live at. Yeah. There's a big-ass apricot orchard. And let's go sneak in and steal apricots from the guy that has a shotgun and waves it around whenever we're on his property.
I jumped in pools, neighbors' pools. I jumped in, went walking through people's fields. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what the movie sells to me. Yeah, it's an unrealistic adventure. There's no way you would ever fucking live through that as a kid that isn't fully developed at all. Like, there's no way you'd survive any of that. But it's still a fun little movie to watch, man. And of course, you got Sloth in there, who's my favorite person ever. I don't care if he's, he has superhuman strength and he looks like he was beaten half to death with a frying pan. But you know what? That adds charm. That's character right there, buddy. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if one eye is a little lower than the other. I don't care if you only got 3 good teeth. You know what? You're still my friend. And the fact that Chunk, of course, is the slightly overweight. He's not that fat. We could have gotten a fatter kid, I feel like, than Chunk. I feel that the fact that he was like adopting this grown man This grown man, Sloth, you're coming home with us. Like, meanwhile, the parents looking at each other like, this motherfucker is not. He could stay for the pizza because they brought that fat kid pizza, and I respect that. You know what? That was the best parents there. All the other parents were just like happy and crying and hugging them. Fat boy, his parents, what'd they bring? Brought fucking Domino's, dog.
I mean, that's awesome.
It is. It is awesome. They could have done better by having like a 2-liter of Coke already poured out for him.
It's pizza, no.
Yeah.
Fat ass.
I love it, man. I'm a fat ass too. I love me some pizza. You telling me after I almost died like 8 times today, you brought pizza? Hell yeah!
Thank you. I'm hungry.
Best parents. But yep, for me, I know that was kind of short, but it's like
no, it's that grind, man. Like sometimes you just love your movies.
You just love it, and just have a couple little hot takes. It makes me want to watch it again.
It makes you happy.
It does. It makes me happy. But I love that movie, and that's all I have to say on it. Well, go watch The Goonies if you haven't seen The Goonies. I don't care if I spoiled it a little bit for you. I don't give a shit. Still watch it. It's fun. You'll enjoy it. There's other shit in there. I swear. So, Dom.
Number 4.
Number 4 for Dommy.
Blah, blah, blah.
Get into that.
All right, so number 4. So, remember earlier I said that I'm battling between 2. And then I said, you know what movie reminds me of grind? I said 8 Mile.
Yeah, you said 8 Mile. I was there.
Well, there's no point in talking about 8 Mile because that was going like I was battling between 8 Mile and the show that I picked out. And talking about grind really reminded me of how much 8 Mile is like grind. So I'm gonna throw that one to the side. I just like it, y'all. Okay, it's a good movie.
All right.
But number 4, it is Boy Meets World.
The TV show?
Yes.
With
Topanga and Corey and Sean. Have you ever watched it, especially as an adult?
Not as an adult. I obviously I seen it when I was growing up, and I was like, man.
Did you see it or did you watch it?
I watched it.
Like you watched the story.
I watched the story unfold, nice. And I would I would get invested in it.
How old were you?
I was like maybe 11 or 12.
Perfect.
And the worst part is at that age, everyone's calling. Well, all right, folks. In the 90s, everyone called each other gay. All right. Early 2000s too. Really up until around like 2000, I want to say 12, 13. That's when calling everything gay and you being gay and me being gay and we're all gay, but we're not gay. That's when it started becoming a real problem saying it. So don't do that. But I will say this. The reason I had that thought in the first place was if I told somebody like, man, Boy Meets World's really got a lot going for it right now, my friends would have lit my ass up. No, they would have destroyed my anus.
It's good I don't really have friends.
That's why you don't have friends.
So, like, firstly, one of the things I knew is that I knew that might have been a show where that happened. So I didn't let my friends know that, I watched things like
Smart
that.
Man. Smart fucking guy.
Plus, I watched so much TV to where if they ever asked me, like, what's your favorite show? I probably would have said something that was on right then and there. Yeah. Like 2009.
Xena, Warrior Princess, but only for the obvious reasons. Only for the obvious reasons.
But yeah, I watched it all the time. I watched it as a kid, I watched it as a teenager, and I watched it as an adult. I have watched that show. That and 70s show is probably pretty close to being tied to how many times I watched it.
That's a lot.
And this is not an exaggeration. It's kind of sad. I've probably watched, I know 70s show from beginning to end and restart. Yep. At least 25 times.
Dom.
Like that's I want to say 30.
I want someone in the comments to put together how much of a runtime that is. All right. How many times you say again? Say it in the mic.
About 25.
About 25. So I want someone to do the math.
I want to say about 30, 35, but I'm gonna stay safe around 25 because that's a lot.
Season 1, to whatever the last episode of the last season is. Put that time together.
There's about 24 episodes per season.
Get fucked, Dom. So
that's 12 hours per season.
You know what? I'm not being cool with you on that. I've seen my movies a shit ton of times. I put a lot of time of my life into those. Well, I'm sure it's not going to be too much.
There's also been a lot of times, too, where I was depressed, so I'll turn on something that kind of like gives me a boost of dopamine. Yeah. And I'll just let it play. I wouldn't really watch it. I kind of just like stare off and listen to it.
Background noise.
But I can watch it. Like I can like listen to it and know exactly what's going on, scene for scene. Boy Meets World too. But around Boy Meets World time I was young, and it kind of like mirrored what was going on in life. Because the show was about a boy trying to figure out the world, obviously.
He even meets it, some would say.
Yeah, he'll meet it. So he had all these different obstacles that he had to deal with through his life. Like, trying to take up for your friend or doing the right thing. Because his friend, Sean, he does some fucked up things.
Sean should have died. Sean's just like the Goonies. He should have been dead.
But Sean was also loved and also ridiculed a lot, criticized by Corey's family.
Yep.
And I was Sean.
You were the Sean.
I was a Sean. I had a friend named Joe who had a better lifestyle, and being over there was safer. My friend Richard, one of them that you met.
I know Richard.
His family was the same way. It was like a safe haven where if I need some good advice, their parents hit me with some good advice. At the same time, not really trying to drag their kid into trouble. It just trouble seemed to follow me. So yeah, it was a good show to kind of like help as you're growing up in life, trying to figure out life, trying to figure out the world. And there's a lot of good advice. Like Mr. Feeney, very profound. He was very smart. They gave him some good lines. But yeah, Mr. Feeney would say some profound shit that kind of like gives you a little motivation, a little knowledge in your life. And the parents was also very warming and welcoming in the show. This was what I was referring back to earlier when I was talking about 70s Show. About how as an adult, I kind of see a lot of things from Red and Kitty's perspective. On this show, there's something funny that Corey, the main character, spoiler alert.
Yeah. He's the boy that
meets
the world.
He is the boy that meets the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad, anyways. It's like one of the first few episodes. Corey's wanting a water gun. Every kid wants a water gun.
Every kid wanted that super soaker. I wanted the one with the backpack fucking attachment. Oh, man, that shit looks so cool.
So he wanted a water gun, and they couldn't afford the water gun because it was like $50. Not in the 90s.
In the 90s, yeah. Oof.
Nowadays, that'd be about $500.
About 5,000.
But yeah, anyways, he wants a water gun. His dad's trying to tell him, I can't afford it. Maybe on Christmas, maybe your birthday, something like that.
Yeah.
And he's just like, but I really want it. And he's like, listen, go get you a small water gun. And I'm sorry, I just can't do it. As he's getting down to fix the sink, like he's trying to like fix the plumbing in his sink and everything.
Yeah.
And he's under the sink, and Corey's like, being a kid, grumbling, mumbling, I just want to afford things, and like leaves. And his dad is under the sink fixing pipes. He's like, me too.
Yeah, me too.
It was like
I told your mom to swallow you. Did you know that, Corey? Just saying.
And as an adult, I'm just like, damn, I can connect with that. Like, I have stuff breaking around the house, and I can't afford to get it fixed.
My fucking AC at the apartment that I'm living at.
The Xbox I bought the other day.
Fuck yeah. Oh, man. That shit.
Oh, man.
Well, let's keep going into this.
Yeah. That's
another story.
But yeah, it connects on a lot of things. It kind of like helped me get through, I wasn't really raised properly. So, anyways, so that's number 4. What's yours?
My number 4, which I will say this, I was raised properly, Dom. And look at me, I came out a wreck. I am a fucking mess. I am literally every day I drift closer and closer into becoming someone that could be defined as being schizophrenic. It's a beautiful journey. So just so you're aware, coming from what people would think is like, yeah, this is like a common, normal nuclear family. Yeah, it's not so great. Not so great. It's kind of shitty. But I love my family, that being said, too. So I'm stuck in that in-between where I'm like, oh, Dad, you're just awful. But I love you. I love you. I love how you look like Danny DeVito now as you get older. And you're just a big meatball with very tiny little chicken pluck legs.
I love hearing your dad on the phone.
He's great. My dad on the phone, I've never heard anyone sound angry at all times when they're not.
And saying nice things as he's sounding angry.
Yeah, as he's sounding, I just want you to know how much I love you. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Oh, and you know what else? I got you a gift. Your birthday's coming up. And I love you again. Bye.
Oh, you're hanging out with that Dom. Have a good time.
I hear you guys are gay. Okay, bye. I'm like, thanks, Dad.
What are you buying?
Yeah. My dad's becoming the fucking weapons vendor from The merchant from fucking Resident Evil 4. That's my dad.
Is that all, stranger?
Yeah, yes, Dad. Yeah, so I gotta go. You're gay. Bye. Anyway, number four. Number 4 for me, this is my one TV show. And weirdly enough, this is an anime TV show.
Okay.
And it's probably not what you're thinking.
No, probably not.
Probably not. I watched this on accident. So where I lived at in Hollister, California, we didn't have, when I was a kid, we didn't have Cartoon Network and shit.
Okay.
We didn't have none of that. We did have public access TV, which was really cool because I ended up finding out that this public access channel on every Friday would air, and like for an hour or 2 hours, they had a block time, and they would air anime. And I was like, I didn't know what anime was.
So it's kind of like Toonami. If Toonami had no budget, no channel, and all. Okay, gotcha.
Because I didn't know about Toonami when I was a kid. So this was, for me, this was how anime was made. Anime was made by some dude, and this guy was like perfect neckbeard, man. Like this dude was obviously like early to mid 30s, just really, really overweight. Just bad glasses, acne.
Why does it?
Today we're going to be talking about the fucking. I'm falling in love with this Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's a very interesting anime, and I think you'll like it too. Let's see.
It seems like when we had cable, y'all didn't have cable, and then when I went without cable for a while, y'all moved to North Carolina, and got cable.
We got cable. We were able to afford it. Finally able to afford it.
But yeah, what's the name of the show?
The name of the show is Outlaw Star.
Okay, no, I don't know it.
Outlaw Star. To this day is like one of my favorite fucking anime shows. It's dumb. It's not a really great show. It has all this weird shit that I like. Hold on, I had to have some water. I got like a big dick in my throat.
Water would be nice.
Yeah, it would. So Outlaw Star, it's set in the future, obviously, because it's got star in it.
Okay.
When I think of stars, I think of the future.
I don't, but yeah, I get it.
Like, I think of the night sky, Jersh. Like, just shit like that, but the show itself is fun. Like, on paper, it's like, oh, this is going to be a fun idea. You got a dude, he's basically like, kind of like a bounty hunter. I think this predates Cowboy Bebop. So, it's set in the far future. Space travel's a thing. It's got, like, mixes of One Piece, I guess, because there's, like, a planet or something that has, like, a treasure or some type of, like, power or whatever that people are trying to seek. There's, like, a lot of gunplay to it, but it's, like, futuristic gunplay. Like, there's science fiction and, like, kind of barely baby versions of fantasy shit. Like, you got one of the characters is, like, a chick, and she's, like, a samurai chick or some dumb shit. Who cares? Like, in a time when you have, like, laser rifles and shit like that, like, a chick comes out with a fucking sword, and she's like, this'll work. This is a good idea.
This makes sense.
But it's anime, so I'm sure there's definitely scenes where she's probably like cutting bullets in the air or some dumb shit.
So
like
you didn't
that.
watch it in order, you just watched episodes?
I had to watch it out of order as a kid because he would just be like, hey, we're going to play episode 15. I'm like, oh.
It was like his favorites.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And eventually it did get to the point where I got to see Cartoon Network, I got to see Toonami, and I actually got to start seeing it more. And then eventually I got Hulu.
Was it on Toonami?
Yeah, it was on Toonami.
Okay.
At one point it was on Toonami, and they also did like the Adult Swim like anime lineup at one point.
Oh yeah.
Because the Toonami one was edited more, the Adult Swim one was edited less, and then obviously I think you could watch it on Hulu now. They might have taken it down, but the Hulu one's like the original shit. It's definitely it's got a lot going for it. There's just like this cool shit about it though. Like he's got a gun. And he uses these things called caster shells. And that's where that weird, like, semi-magical element comes from it. Because it's these, like, expensive, old, arcane, they call it magic. But it's basically, you're fucking loading, like, an artillery shell in a hand cannon. And you're shooting it, and it's doing these weird, different effects.
Dang.
And there's, like, a lot of space travel and shit. They have, like, the ship, I'm pretty sure is called the Outlaw Star. And it's just like bounty hunting. It's this adventure.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. It's still an anime, so there's still like a lot of retarded fucking things that happen in it. Like there's like fan service. There's like a cat girl in it for some fucking reason. They're like a different race of people, and it's really cringy. As I think about it now as an adult, I'm like, ugh. Just why do you exist? Like this could have been a cool adventure whatever. It's definitely, the anime was definitely made for like a preteen or teenage boy, essentially. I feel like, because it's definitely catering to that.
Yeah,
it's like mindless action, some character development and drama, but not
makes
a lot.
sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. But it's a fun show. I think it's the art style, like just the visuals of it, really had me going as a kid because I love to draw. I still love to draw. I'm not good at it, but I love to draw. And like so many other things, it's like, I like having sex. I'm not good at it, but man, do I love it. Whenever I get some of that, I'm tucking in for seconds.
Yummy, yummy.
Yummy, 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 yummy. That's what I say whenever I have sex. Is yummy, yummy, yummy.
So let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Something that...
Is it about sex?
Yeah. No. It's about TV in general, TV and movies. How much of your time as a kid did you devote to watching the TV? Because let me just say that the reason why all my movies and shows connected with me was because I was raised by a TV. I was always sat in front of a TV and was told, hey, watch this while I go do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was more of a gamer.
Okay.
So, and before anyone gets excited,
I did that too, but that's a...
I was more of a handheld gamer because as a kid, my parents fucked up, and for Christmas, they gave me a Game Boy Pocket with Pokemon Red and Blue because they didn't understand how that shit worked. And they're like, he's not going to have any friends to like trade Pokemon between the two. Let's get him both. He'll figure it out. He'll figure something. He's a smart kid. Didn't get a trade, like a link cable or anything to actually do the trade, so I was still fucked. But they fucked up by doing that. So I didn't like watching TV unless I had it on for background noise, which I do to this day when I play video games.
Yeah, same.
Which sucks, because like there's a lot of cool video. I'm playing BioShock again on my PlayStation 5. And there's so much cool background noise and shit. But I'm a big bitch, and I get scared easily. So when I'm hearing this scary, scary stuff, I turn the volume down, and then I play a fucking YouTube video, usually a podcast, sometimes even our podcast. I'll listen to it in the background.
Fallout fucked me up with not having background noise.
Yeah.
Because Fallout...
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
That could be creepy.
I played New Vegas a lot. And I played Skyrim a lot, too, but Skyrim at least had that little mystical...
It was fantastical enough to where you could just disassociate. Yeah. You could just be like, well, it's fantasy. But when you start doing like...
I didn't know in Fallout you could turn on the radio until like a month ago.
You just found that out?
On the Pip-Boy?
Dude, that was like one of the big things about it, yeah.
I didn't know. I was just walking around the wasteland, man.
No, I'm just a wasteland wandering. You know what I mean? I'm just doing
Shit.
my thing.
And on New Vegas, you couldn't sprint. So...
Ooh, yeah, you couldn't in Fallout 3 either, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Fallout 4 was that.
I didn't play 3. I played 3 a lot in the sense of I walked around a lot and explored a lot.
Yeah. I was afraid of going in buildings in 3 because buildings was where it was scary. But in the wasteland, you could just like, I can get away.
Now, I played around in buildings too. I blew up Megaton. Like immediately. Immediately. I came out of the bunker and I went to Megaton and I was immediately brought up with that guy. Yeah. He's like, hey, and I had my science high because I played New Vegas first. Right. And I knew that in Fallout, you want a high science so you can control robots and shit.
You do cool shit.
Yeah. So I was able to like fix the bomb like that.
Immediately fixed it.
And
you skipped the quest line in between.
So I started walking around Megaton and there wasn't really anything there. I saw some people bathing in radioactive water. Yeah. And I saw all this other bullshit.
This follower has been blessed with 3 dicks.
And I just didn't know that a lot of people will do a lot of the quests in Megaton. Yeah. And then go blow it up.
Yeah.
No, not me.
No, immediately.
I walked around. I did like 1 lap around Megaton. Kind of talked to some people. Noticed what was going on. And I was like, so I guess I'm just going to blow it up. So then I blew it up.
You did the thing where you looked around and you're like, fuck this place. And then you got to stay in a suite in a nice-ass tower and shit.
Oh, see, the thing is that in New Vegas, the first person you meet is like part of the story, like the main storyline. Yeah. I thought it was going to be the same flow with Fallout 3. The first guy I meet was going to be part of the main story. No. So then I went to this guy and I blew it up. And he was just like, all right, thanks. And that was it. It's like, well, now what?
Then you get a marker that says main mission failed. Like, what?
And then I'm like, now what? So now I can't.
I didn't know you played music on a Pip-Boy.
That's the crux of this argument is that I just didn't know. Like, Dom, you fuck around with stuff. You play with stuff. It's been out for years, Dom. That's okay. That's okay.
I need to plug in the old Xbox and play New Vegas again.
Yeah,
that was a good
man.
game. I played it twice.
Yeah. There's something fun about like booting up the original system it came on and playing that. There's just something really nostalgic about it.
You need a capture card. And nostalgia, man. Nostalgia is a deadly weapon.
It is. Hearing that disc drive spin up, sounding like it's about to blow up. Like, what's going on? What is that? I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 3 on my PlayStation 2 original. It's not even the slim one.
Can't wait till we're old.
Yeah. None of that shit works.
No, it's still
bummed
going
out all the time.
It's still going to work. You're going to show your great grandchildren. Mm-hmm. You're going to be like 100 years old. Oh, this is a 360. This is a PS2.
Yeah. You think Fortnite's still going to be out? Hopefully,
I hope
not.
I hope
Hopefully not. Look, hey, I don't mind Fortnite in what it is. It's a game. It can be fun, and a lot of people like it. And you know what? That's cool. A lot of people made their careers off of it. That's really cool too. I'm just burnt out by it. I'm treating it like Marvel movies at this point, where it's like, hey, the first couple of years of it, I was like, neat. It's not my thing.
The new Marvel show is pretty cool, by the way.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'm not gonna watch.
That's the way it goes.
Them's the breaks, kid. But
if anybody wants to know how suggesting Star Wars and Marvel to Josh is,
I'm so indifferent, dude. Both of those, I'm just so fucking indifferent. I'm so done.
I'm just like, hey, that Obi-Wan show was good.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, bye. And I'll close the door on him. And like, we're gonna hang out.
I'm gonna show him the edit one day, though. The edit where all the seasons just edit into one movie and all the BS is taken out.
I'll have to see that. But anyway, guys, it's been so fucking fun talking to my friend Dom.
Me?
And, yes, Dom.
That's me.
I'm patting him on the back. But it's been so fun, and I've had such a great time. Dom, thank you for having me again on your show. It's beautiful.
Whose show is it?
It's our show.
Is it my show?
Is it our show?
Is it ours?
Who owns the rights? I gotta talk to my lawyer after this episode.
Santa?
Anyway,
Santa?
He's very Jewish. Like, well, I could get you 80%.
But no, for real, guys. Thank you for listening. Leave a thumbs up. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Give me a subscribe too. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do that for your boy. Yeah, you can find me at Dom Nooch. You can find me at Joshua. And I'm sorry if it's only shorts. I like putting all of my effort into these videos with my friend, and I think he deserves it. They're good shorts. You learn a lot about the homeless. Yeah, sure. Anyways, guys, be breezy. I'm Dom Nooch. And I'm Joshua. Bye. Bye, babies.